Welcome back to the game Don't Eat the Cashier. In the previous video that I've made, we got a job as a cashier in a gas station where our manager is an eldritch horror being who can't leave until he earns money, which is to say that we won't get a lot of money whatsoever. And our first customer was a chaos overlord who invited us to dinner. That was lovely. I could definitely match up his freak. And at the end of our conversation with that chaos overlord, he gave us money. A lot of money that our manager Bob is pleased by it. So, and where we left off, there is a new customer that stumbled upon our gas station. Okay, before we start the video, I would like to make a disclaimer. This game will have depiction of blood, disfigured faces, and there's also some dark humor related to organs and medical stuff. So if you're not comfortable with any of these topics, you can freely click away from the video. Thank you. Let's continue. He seems unwell. I hope he doesn't knock over my shelves or shampoo with jojoba oil and delicate lilies on his way. Oh, hi. You seem very rough. Bloodied and everything. He's not just unwell. He looks like hell. Literally. All the skin on the left side is torn off from his jaw to his temple. I swallowed nervously. Gulp indeed. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. Ugh. I need to be careful if I don't want to become a next victim. Alright, we gotta have to be careful. Again, our top priority is being polite. That's the basis of our job, and whatever happens afterwards, it's influenced by the customer. We're just following through. Okay. You look like the Terminator at the end of the second movie, buddy. The Terminator who just wrecked my entire floor. Give him a thumbs up. What the fuck does that mean? How's life, sir? Well, it's hard to imagine how the other fighter looks. When will the Lord take my sinful soul? Breaks down to tears. You don't want to work here anymore. I have to be careful with my own words, otherwise I might get eaten by this guy. Because we are led to believe that. This sounds insulting because it looks like he got dragged from hell. I mean, he got his glasses on to make himself look cool. Well, it's hard to imagine how the other fighter looks. Let's give him a compliment. You look like the Terminator at the end of the second movie, buddy. The Terminator just wrecked my entire floor. Yeah, let's save it. A thumbs up is going to end up in your ass. Even of that tone, not just a thumb, I won't think of any further in that direction. Okay, so it wasn't good as my initial thought, but what else can I say? Like, how's life, sir? As if I did not realize. Okay, hold on. Let me... Can I load? Yeah, I'm gonna load up my... Loading will lose unsaved. Yep. Let's see about this one. Because I don't know. Yeah. How's life, sir? Fucking awesome. Like a fairy tale. Thanks for asking. You would dramatically light a cigarette and stare into the void right now, but it seems he doesn't have the strength for that anymore. But he clearly wants to. I do too. Even considering that I don't smoke. I could use a pack of cigarettes right now, even though I don't smoke. This profession is going to drive me crazy one day. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man without a half a face. He clears his throat, but that doesn't help much. I need blood. He tried to smile. It would be charming if he still had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my dreams, among other things. So he wants blood and tried to smile. Yeah, try to smile with a lack of skin, why don't you? The client pauses again, briefly to clear his throat. Mine? Don't kill me, I'm already having a bad streak in life. We don't do transfusions here. No IV drips, just discount rot. With tomato juice, strong vintage. Well, let me see what we have, though. Let's see. Yeah. Good choice, sunshine. Step into the storage. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? Why did it give me that heart icon? What? Oh god. I feel like this guy is gonna follow me to the storage room. And just eats me whole, but like, what do I know? Just in case. He suddenly leans forward, boring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. All right. Jeez. Like, okay, buddy. No need to be so demanding. I'm going to get it anyway. A strange pressure builds in my head, and the edge of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood. Right now. What the fuck? Who was that? It's like we're being hypnotized. What kind of creature is that? Okay. My client is covered in blood, but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something inedible. Or is it his own? I found myself in a storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and serious cans. We got, I don't know, a ghoul inside of that container. Yeah, we got some creatures here. That's nice. In a corner, something rustled and snorted suspiciously. So where could the blood be? Oh, I need to think first. He's not going to wait forever. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Well, where's the blood? Go to the food for mouth section. Go to the section supplies for self-propelling gearbox. Go to the section foaming body washes for leather bags. Go to the section items that inspire pensiveness. Let's go for like food for mouth. These signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging, and even in front of the department entrances, there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscription. In front of me are a section with food for mouth. Dense energy block for chewing. Infused nutritional flows. And food afraid of heat. Dense energy blocks for chewing. I think those are energy bars, I think. Infused nutritional flows. Food afraid of heat. Food afraid of heat. I think something to do with like ice cream and stuff like that. Let me see infused nutritional flows. Here are the endless shelves of drinks. Next to Coca-Cola are bottles labeled liquid regret and primordial broth. Now with nucleotides. Cans labeled Rapsies, vodka Solnichko? God, I don't know how to spell that. I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I check each shelf, pushing aside cans of essence of shits and giggles, but I find nothing resembling blood. The closest thing is liquid hematogen in a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. I go back. They're knocking. I do hear knocking. Don't tell me this guy is actually at the storage room. It's the dry, rhythmic tapping of knuckles on a laminated countertop. It's not loud, but persistent and full of irritation. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Okay, let's go for like food afraid of heat. The coldest corner of the store. Larger freezer, chest and refrigerator with glass doors are covered in frost. Next to the frozen pizzas are gremlin cryo capsules, and among the buckets of ice cream, you can find flavors like minty tritium and liquid family. Oh my god. A huge freezer chamber. Matters of lesser life forms, spare parts of human organisms, products of animal fauna, exploitation with food pieces. Let's see, spare parts of human organisms. This section reeks of formaldehyde and horror. Glass jars filled with murky liquid sit on the shelves where exhibit floats. I try not to think about one of the container holding the name tag that reads Kevin. Please don't tell me that Kevin was like the previous cashier. Oh, okay. Take blood of human organism, Kevin. Taste of unfiltered dreams and unwarranted expectation. Take blood of human organism, homeless. High content of cheap alcohol and tuberculosis. Or take blood of human organism, Michael. Taste of efficient resource and artificial accumulation. I got a feeling that these two are just not good. I'm just gonna take the one that I think it looks nice. Taste of efficient resource and artificial accumulation. Oh, that's funny. The blood in this jar has a rich, almost glowing ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Yep. Michael, whoever you were on top. Champion's blood flow through you. You were probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And yet, here you are, in a jar. There's something to ponder. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach. Here? Already? His voice carries genuine surprise and clear relief. Good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. My client finishes the jar and then grimaces. For crying out loud. What the hell is this crap? He reaches into the jar. Michael. You're a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, successful career, retirement accountant. This shark probably never even had cockroaches. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna say something. Cool that you found human blood. Good job, you shark. Glad to please you, sir, and glad you no longer want to eat me. No, that's not. Feel free to ask. It took longer to get to the wrap. Feel free to ask. He gives me a crooked smile from his newly restored rogue-like face. I'm going to wash my dirty face. Don't get bored. Okay. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the blood stains. Ah, great. Good. I'm just scrubbing the pool of blood on my first day of work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm doing just fine. Nobody has eaten me. Oh. Well, you're back in tip-top shape. What happened to the other face that got ripped apart? He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles of that a constipated owl. How would you know what it looks like? I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. And just so you know, if you try to contact the werewolves, I'll take your head and crush it like you want. How do I know the name's David? I'm David, by the way. A vampire, as you might have already guessed. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance, especially with that part of the walnut. I like champagne. Nice to meet you, Thunder. Okay, Thunder. How did you regenerate half your face like that? Did you also get mauled by werewolves? Don't tell me this is like Ty all over again. Holy shit. I knew a Thunder once. Well, that's an interesting way to say it though, David. I'm not gonna lie. I knew a Thunder once. They used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. They were a good one to pick up, though. Shame. They must have had a perfectly organized human trafficking. Ignore that. He's trying to provoke me, deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I get. Yeah, you know what? You know what? I ain't giving you that. I suppose I'm also selling some kidneys now. Check the catalog. And exactly 10 categories. A catalog? Do you seriously have a catalog? He leans forward, genuinely intrigued, peering into the catalog. Remnant kidney? Is that a delicacy? Why does it say both delicacy and fuel and animal venom? Because it's a universal product. Want some? Other? Oh, we are squeezing the money out of him. He better. He got like, I'm giving this guy a couple of supplies of whatever living being was back then. You better give me good money. Looks like I found my best cousin for today. Now I have a vampire here, and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. You need to be friendly. Yes. Are you sure you're a vampire, not a chupacabra? Do you drink blood too? When the vampires wear leather jackets, don't you guys prefer capes or ruffles anymore? I'm gonna stay silent. Say nothing, silently wiping the counter. I think we are doing that. Because I think these are really rude. I have no idea what his personality looks like other than, well, one, he could potentially eat me, and number two, he doesn't look like the guy that I could mess around with, so I'm just gonna say nothing and wipes. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand. Damn it. Probably not all the wounds have healed completely. And does being a vampire doctor fall under my duty? I think Bob said it was mandatory. Points at the wound. I don't want to help you, but my employment contract requires me to treat you. No, let me help. He looks at me skeptically. The offer of help is probably so foreign and unexpected for him that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded. Yeah. What? You want to play nurse? A flicker of confusion is replaced by something more intense. It's just a couple of scratches and a little piece of ass that will grow back on its own. Fine. If you don't let yourself be treated, my boss will lock us both into the dimension of horror where we'll be cleaning floors with the floor for 2,000 years. I see. You're afraid of doctors, huh? Such a tough guy. It's scared of getting treated. Says Concilia. Okay, let's just see how we pronounce that word.
Conciliatory.
Conciliatory. Thank you, dictionary. Conciliatory. You mentioned werewolves. It's probably not just a scratch. Let me try to help you, okay? I give him a chance to save face. Now we're treating him not because he's a whim, but because he survived an epic battle. A direct blow to his ego. The guy immediately starts puffing up with pride. His eyes light up. I hope I didn't catch rabies. I hope not. I wouldn't want to get infested by rabies. I don't know what that entailed. I decided to remain silent about how he's already pretty rampant. We're against one in the narrow alley. You know, there's a myth about werewolves being down noble, unlike us bloodsuckers. Well, that's a load of crap. One of them was hiding in a trash can, ready to jump on me. My heart would have definitely stopped there. If it even still beat. It would have just ripped apart from a freaking heart attack. I'm afraid I'll never be able to take out the trash ever again without fearing for my life. Judging by the distant look, he's plagued by flashbacks of what he's been through. David awkwardly moves his injured arm. Alright, hand over your first aid kit. Sure, this won't be the last pack I'll have to take down. There are way too many stray dogs around these days. Go ahead. Get out your band-aids with Dr. Chocula, or whatever you're selling. Oh, okay. That's a lot of scarrings. Cool. David sheds his jacket, shirt, and t-shirt, then settles onto a squeaky tool next to the counter. Squeaky tool? What does it look like? That probably means nothing. Just a tiny stool. He's about to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hasn't made him claw-proof. He certainly looks like he was just thrown into a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, he has quite an interesting past. Wait, where? Where? What bullet scars? All I see is just like torn flesh and scars, scratches. Where's bullet scars? Darn. He has quite an interesting past. Maybe he was just attacked by werewolf cowboys with guns. Most likely the former. By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. I thought the only doctor available for me right now is the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. It's a heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading, "Kit for alternative living human organisms." Inside, besides standard bandages, there are some strange items. Silver tweezers, vial of thick, glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course, an instruction manual. A cheap, laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instruction, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie. As for an alternatively living subject if they ever wanted to eat someone's brains. Nah, he's a vampire. David is clearly not a zombie. Move on to the next point. He glanced skeptically at the picture, flashing in the instruction as I flip it over. Zombies, necromancer, abomination, made of bones, flesh, and cabbage swirls in front of his face, like a mesmerizing kaleidoscope. And all of this lives in the city sewers? I don't know how you're going to use bathrooms now. It would be great if he didn't notice that. What do I have to do with all of this? I still glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up, or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts. Something out of Stone Age. suggests that he could have. The guy has a killer's gaze. You see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. I lower my eyes. Next point. Let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wound could werewolves leave? It's simple. You've got laceration, claws, teeth, and a bit of saliva, possibly very contagious. It seems the damage was psychological. Tell me about your tragic past, as you said. It's simple. You got laceration, very contagious. David listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal of valor. Something like that. He said it as if he didn't care. But I know better. That face is the person that you wanted someone to appreciate that he fought someone of an enemy. Stroke his ego, added by the end. Wounds from real rabid beast, buddy. Shakes your head. You really need to stop with these fights. They won't lead to anything good. Let me save that for a while. In case, it bites me in the ass. But he's smiling, so why not? Stroke his ego a bit. I'm dying of laughter. He chuckles happily, trying to hide a glimmer of pride behind the humor. But I won't be fooled. David is no longer just a wounded sucker. He's a true gladiator, having survived a battle with rabid beasts. Absolutely epic. I read through what medication I need and grab the regenerating extract for alternatively living life forms. What a mouthful. This is what we're talking about, so whatever. Now all that's left is to apply this stuff. I dip my finger in the jar and suddenly he grabs my hand. Okay, buddy, what's up? Do something wrong, and I'll rip your tongues out of your ass. Wow. Thanks for giving me that imagination, though. Alright, cool. Say in a calm, icy tone. Allow me to do my job, sir. I'll be extremely careful. If you touch me, my boss will rip your soul out of your ass. Anyway. You have this fantastic talent for coming up with threats. You should write a script for action movie. No way, I'm a pathetic, miserable, harmless cashier. The phrase of any faceless representative of the service sector, my perfect shield against the surrounding world and the rude vampires that inhibit it. Watch yourself. You won't get a second chance. No, not my vampire doctor's license. I apply this black goo to the wound. Puff of steam rises from the wound, and the air starts to smell like something is frying. It's probably very painful, but David remains calm. Never a single complaint, which is surprising. I hope it's not from your squid manager. Well, you'll hope for that, buddy. Well, you have to be more careful. My movements become slow and deliberate. I do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the wounds to allow him to get used to the steam. I can see the tense muscles in his back and shoulders relaxing slightly. He's still wound up. He's still wound up, but relief is starting to wash over him. Naturally, thank yous or pleases from him, but at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my ass every 5 seconds. Yeah, what is up with that? Jeez. I kind of wanted to, I do want to have more conversation with this guy because he's boring as fuck. What are you talking about? What nights? What battles? I fought in an alley, stinking of urine against a bunch of dirty werewolves for territory on the outskirts of this godforsaken city. They tore my pants and had to take a new pair of a junkie who was lying in a puddle nearby. What am I? A night of what? A night of torn pants? As long as they're not seen, well, you get it. I get it. I just don't understand whether you've completely lost your mind or just very brave. Since I died, there's not a threat to me. Just so you know, I could only scrap myself metaphorically. What a wonderful fact about vampire biology. I finish up. Surprisingly, the wounds we are healing. The scars won't beautify this man. Why are you doing all of this? The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. He's driving me insane, even more than that clown from earlier it seems. What the fuck do you mean? Like, he's the most chillest thing that I ever have conversed with. Like, the clown here gives me something, gives me chaos. This guy gives me nothing and I want to leave. But not without squeezing every ounce of currency he has. So we're gonna have to play nice. Okay, I just want to help lie you want tips and to go home, play The Sims, and watch stupid shows. I just want to help you. Truth, you're an angel of mercy from the dirty gas station. These are my work obligations. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't bother with you. No, I actually do want to help him though. Shocking, I know. David is confused. In his system of belief, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into this flawless, long-running mechanism. Let's just say I have a swing fetish. Oh, this game is literally playing with... He's reading my mind when it comes to, like, let's throw like a monkey wrench into this whole thing. I really wanted to impress it because it's fun. I knew it from the very beginning, Sugar. You clearly have a few screws loose in your head. You get pleasure from this. I would even bother asking what those fetishes are. Medical things. I'm not gonna entertain my own thoughts. I just want to sleep in my coffin without any nightmares. Alright, moving on. Skirt us. I honestly don't care what's going on in your head. This is the most unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. He clears his throat. Thank you. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe, so I don't scare off this rare, exotic display of politeness. Shock. He says that words as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I'll be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back in front of the counter. Said Aquine is fed, clean, and healed, and yet he's still here, not putting any money on the counter. And the tip jar is lacking. Buddy, what the fuck? Now look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead, he looks lost. David is in deep thought, in that dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Are you planning to pitch a tent here? Can I do anything else for you, sir? Cautiously steps back. Have you decided to eat me after all? This isn't the best place to crash, buddy, but there's a vampire hotel 2 blocks down. Yeah, can I do anything else for you, sir? This seemingly simple question stumped him. David frowns and will pass for me a while before responding. Yeah, I can do something. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time. I wonder, by regular human, does he mean my extremely natural essence? I'm a vampire, werewolf, or even gnome. Or does he mean my lack of criminal records and absence of drugs or alcohol dependency? Maybe he would enjoy having those alcohols in his system, I guess. I don't know. maybe if I wanted to romance this guy, he would definitely appreciate the alcohol and tuberculosis. And it's like, maybe. Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker. A working class person, a gray collar. Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? Not even get the chance to respond to his jab before he follows up. Let's conduct an experiment. I suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want. Wherever you want, do whatever you want. Where would you go? David looks at me expectantly. Where would I go? What kind of superpowers do vampires have? What weaknesses will I have? And who were you before the bite? Can you find everyone who wronged you in life and get revenge? Okay, so these are just questions. And who are you before the bite? He opens his mouth, ready to tell me off and mention something about butts again, but he stopped himself. Probably his thank you sealed our fragile friendship. I'll tell you, but it's probably not relevant. Well, it's nothing. I was a nobody. I was just surviving as everything went to hell. And like all of those bosses born with a silver spoon up their ass. You can see those happy American families in TV commercials. You sit at a table with a bowl of salad, smiling like an idiot. They always have a dog. Well, that wasn't my case. My stepdad was a crazy guy who thought the best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He didn't teach me how to shape properly. Left my family dump early. It's really dumb. But I thought I'd start a band and become a rock star. But as they say, wish one hand, shin the other. See which one fills up faster. But first, I worked wherever I could. Then found some guy to do some shady stuff with. There aren't many ways to make a living in Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cashier, right? David jabs again, without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of the middle and upper class. But it hasn't affected me yet. Not long. Yeah, being a gangster would be cool, doing gangster things, riding motorcycles. Hey, working at a cash register isn't so bad. You would be even better with our customers like you. No comment. Let's say this. Let's have a quick chuckle. Come on, life isn't as fun as it is on TV shows. Mostly we're just soul diluted crap to junkies and solve problems. Sometimes no person, no problem, you know? I prefer the part about motorcycles. That's the whole story. What about you? Oh Lord, this is my chance to make up something cool. Or just tell it like it is. I have a single parent and an art degree and a dog. No, I ended up in this town about my job search and everything else. They didn't sell drugs in the alley. It seems we still find some common ground. Got it. You're not in your element. David truly understands. Neither he nor I wanted to end up where we are. Neither of us know what to do next. And we both love cheap noodles, but I can't eat them anymore. I win. Must be tied with those draw me requests. I mean, I would draw you. Do you want that? Well, like a French girl. He tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes shows he's interested. Go ahead. I love beautiful doodles. He says the word doodles with such a strange tenderness that it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. Draw him as he is. Wow, what a face. I also know what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie. Silence hangs in the air while David examines the drawing. He clearly doesn't know how to react to this unexpected little act of normalcy. That's cool. The last words are spoken in barely audible. A almost reverent whisper, unlike anything I've ever heard from him before. 2 simple words, said with all the sincerity this guy can muster. I could do something too. David takes a pencil from me and with deep concentration, almost sticking out his tongue, scribbles something. A few minutes later, a drawing appears before me. I never would have thought this guy was capable of that. Yeah. It's all just a doodle. I was into it a bit when I was a kid. Comics, all that stuff. Nothing serious. I take the drawing for myself. Alright, well, will we? David looks at me expectantly. Okay, what kind of superpowers do vampires have? Oh, what? What would be a superhero league? I'm sure it never crossed your mind that in reality, bloodsuckers can be way scarier than in the sappy movies for girls. Looks like you watched Twilight. Interesting. I keep on making reference of Twilight and the fact this guy has been having a fight with werewolves. What a thought. Some of us not only drinking blood, but also capture people to experiment with. They turn human bodies into a real nightmare of flesh and bones. Dr. Moriarty couldn't even imagine. And there are vampire sorcerers who can rip your soul out of your body and make you work for them for eternity. Literally. Seems like I already have one of those sorcerers. His name is Bob. He's checking his bills. And there he is. What is in a string that took David not to flinch? And there are those who can make your head explode, literally, with just a glance. But it's not all of us. Are such wicked bastards. You don't even have to kill a person to eat. Just drink a little instead of gorging yourself like a pig at a trap. But some don't care. They just drain all the blood and splash it everywhere. The forensics team is baffled why the person turned to a sprinkler before dying. You seem to be talking about how cool vampires are. And which of these do you have? And which of these do you have? I guess. Vampires open beer cans with their minds. Okay, and which one of these we have? I've got a decent list of what I can do. I'm not complaining. Imagine it. You never get tired. You can party all night long. Fuck all night long. You're stronger than 10 thugs combined. Ugh. Except for 10 werewolf thugs. It might take some effort. If you want to shrink down and fly somewhere, you turn into a tiny bat. Your reflexes become 100 times sharper. You feel everything. You see everything. You hear rat piss a block away. And finally, you can make people do anything you want. Absolutely anything. Okay? It's one thing that scares someone shitless. They give in to just avoid being harmed. It's another when they act with full confidence. That is what they want. I don't even realize they're just vampire pawns now. Yes, I think I get it. He pulled that trick on me too. David smiles, but the smile is strained. These are the words of someone stuck in a web of artificial connection and ass-related threats. Fear and supernatural compulsions aren't the best foundation for a strong friendship. David, you're a creature. Okay, hold on. This guy is so sensitive, I just feel like it. Even if it's based on my ass, I don't care. If you're a bloodsucker, you live like this no other way. In this snake pit, you won't make true friends. Vampires don't live in a one big, beautiful house like in Twilight. They're just like cowboys in the Wild West, constantly cutting and shooting each other, blowing up houses. You mentioned Twilight again. Oh my god. I don't think I'm whining. It's actually great. Keeps you on your toes. You'll get used to it. Unless you just tend to think of it being a hobby isn't so bad. Exactly. A great way to live. Also, you get it? You get it. You seem to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Alright. Let's see, this is kind of fun. Oh, they sure can. But they can't drink beer afterwards. I was just recently turned about 2 years ago. Tried to eat spaghetti. Not the smartest decision. And what happened? I threw up farther than I could see, puking out blood and meatballs. Left some graffiti and bit of pus on the wall. The guy who cleaned up probably thought the whole spaghetti monster exploded in the alley. Giving up Cuba food is a small one. Mamma mia, no more pasta pizza. That's terrible. Yeah, exactly. I miss pizza. My buddy used to say you always have to sacrifice something. In our case, it's pizza. Sounds silly, of course, but in reality, it sucks. So, you get used to it over time. I can see he's lying. David lives in a spaghetti-less hell. What kind of monster would doom someone to do that? It's an order food delivery, by the way. Just in time. Just this time, Eat the delivery guy. You seem to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. I'll get back to the question. David looks at me unexpectedly. Why did you... Yeah, we have mentioned it. Why did you watch Twilight? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch emo crap. I hold the dramatic pause. David looks like a cornered animal. He stared at the floor and the ceiling, anywhere but at me. Finally, he lets out a loud sigh, filled with disappointment and embarrassment. Fine, damn it. Alright, I watched everything. All Twilight movies. Watched Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire, Blade. What the fuck are you talking about? The idiot who bitch me didn't explain anything beyond the basics. Like, don't go out in the sun, you little punk. Well, maybe those stupid movies are the clue, you know? And all silly romance and melodrama. Most of it turned out to be bullshit. I read legends, search for info online. You can imagine all supernatural beings trying not to give themselves away, since they still stumble upon bits and pieces. Or crazies. Well, one or the other. My favorite? Madly. Left from dust to dawn. Too bad vampires don't explode in real life. You still haven't told me if you sparkle like Edward Cullen in the sun. He takes a deep, ragged breath. No, we don't sparkle. Wanna know what happens if I step into the sun? Catch fire in the sun. As if someone poured gasoline on me and lit a match. You know what that smells like? Fried chicken. It's a nasty, excruciating final death. Very brutal. Mom. Sarah, let me ask you one thing. I keep on trying because it's so funny. What the hell is wrong with you? Finally, I get a good laugh of him. Oh my god. He's so fucking boring. Can he just tip and leave? David has clearly dealt with violence, drug and monsters, but a cashier craving fried vampire is clearly too much for him. You know, I've seen a lot of crap in my life, but this is the first time I see someone like this. Some kind of nickel barbecue fetish? No, don't answer me. I don't want to know. Just pretend I didn't hear anything. Expectedly. Okay, what weaknesses will I have? No tanning, no more reflections in mirrors. If you were ugly before, it's actually a bonus. You can enter without an invitation. God doesn't scare you either. Holy water is trickier. Depends on the situation. Mistake works, but piercing your chest would be quite the challenge. Piercing any part of you is quite the challenge, actually. Our skin's like steel. Unless a particular persistent werewolf comes along. Well, at least you can't enter without an invitation, looking for unnecessary chit-chat with people. David looks at me expectantly. Can you find everyone who wronged you in life and get revenge? Yeah? A lot of people think about that first. But it's a bad idea to leave a trail of bodies of people you are somehow connected to. And your head quickly fills with other things, like, well, the fact that you're dead, and it's forever. So, after you've been turned, you didn't find anyone who bullied you in school and beat them up? I usually beat them up right at school. Huh? You might think I was some kind of bully, constantly pulling pranks, but I was actually quiet in class. Just sitting around at the back of the class, an invisible man. So some jerk started picking on me. Once I smashed a glue over the guy's head because he mocked my sneakers. As if wearing clothes from Walmart made me worse than them. But we don't have gloves here. David looks at me expectantly. A lot of things depends on who exactly turned me. Who vamped you? He doesn't answer right away, just furrows his eyebrows. Several long minutes pass in silence. Some old stinking jerk. A lot is mixed into those 4 words. It's as if he both hates and mourns the old jerk. Probably the guy wasn't a contender for Father of the Year. I wait for him to continue, but he remains silent. He looks like an angry, cornered dog. It's unlike he'll speak up on his own. And what did your old stinking jerk do? Don't call him that, damn it, don't you dare. The rage in his eyes shift into confusion, just for a brief moment before he looks away. I mean, yeah, call him whatever you want. Call him the old stinking jerk. What did he do? That jerk. Suffering from power seizures. That's all there's to say about him. A lot of booze could erase what damn villain did in my memory. I suppose all old vampires are like that. Seems he won't tell me more about his vampire dad. Okay, I'm going to tell you my decision. Excellent. He leans a little closer, and suddenly... Oh, okay. I don't even have time to blink before David vanishes. Now he's a little bad, and we have an encounter. Listen up, don't say anything about me. Sit tight and behave, or you'll feel incredibly shitty. Trust me, if you rat me in, I will find a way to get out and twist your head off. The threat in his voice is completely lacking, possibly because his voice has now come from a very small, though angry werewolf. A werewolf is about to come here now. Ah, okay, hello. So this is whom you were fighting with? Okay. Oh. Good evening, Chief. A low rumbling bass, surprisingly calm and friendly. I'm listening, sir. Apologies for the sudden intrusion. Edward, you can just call me Eddie. We're chasing down a certain pest. You haven't seen a vampire on here by any chance, have you? You know, young, a bit scruffy, wearing a leather jacket. You see, here's a story. One of our packs nearly took out a vampire's sire and his offspring a few hours ago. It was a tough battle. We suffered losses. We tried to track them and found one of them. Oh, more like a pile of ash where he once lay. It seems one bloodsucker off the other when he was weakened. Their family values are quite lacking. It seems fratricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about it. Probably That's why he had all of those questions about vampirism. He was trying to get advice on where to go next after killing his creator in a completely idiotic way. See, Chief, vampires are parasites on the body of our society. They drink blood like mosquitoes, but unlike mosquitoes, they kill the victims by draining them dry. They languish in boredom with their immortality, and thus destroy human destinies, play with them, torment them, and derive a semblance of pleasure from their suffering. They are devoid of true feelings. Look at David, devoid of any feelings, shaking all over. So, I'll be extremely grateful for any help. Don't give David away, blackmail David. Slowly glancing at the tip jar and then briefly meeting David's eyes, thinking he owes a tip. Grab David and hand him over to the werewolf with the tip. Let me see for a little bit. I hope this is worth it though, David. Cause you still need to pay. Well, don't give him away. The bastard threatened me 5 minutes ago, but now he's small, trembling, and helpless. He's my bastard. He's my bastard. They have to give me the tip. I force a smile and say I haven't seen anything. A quiet, peaceful night. It examines me closely. He's probably catching a faint scent of blood. My calm demeanor throws him off. Strange. Okay, if he shows up, just give a whistle. We won't far away from here. Good night, Chief. The werewolf pulls off to his important wolf business. David crawls out of his hiding spot. You could have turned me in. He stares into my eyes as if trying to peer into my soul and understand what it's made of. That would have been the sensible decision. But I'm glad you're not one of those sensible ones. David says this with genuine relief in his voice. He's grateful to me and now doesn't quite know what to do with that gratitude. Okay, so what's the answer to my question? What would you do if you were a vampire? His gaze reminds me of a lost fighting dog. Without a master, he's restless and can't find his place. What an advisor he picked. May the Lord help him. Well, I take everything life has to offer. Travel, entertainment, new experience, blissful wonder. When you're a mongrel, all doors are open to you. Just surf the internet, decay, and rot. Nothing would change. One could enslave humanity, or at least one neighborhood for the city. Learn so many things. I take everything life has to offer. If I was immortal and could fly everywhere, at the risk I'm already a nocturnal. So yeah, travel, entertain, new experience, do that. He chuckles. Still waters run deep and all that. Pity the road of adventures lead you to a stinky gas station. Maybe you're right. The world isn't limited to this lousy town. He says this quietly, almost to himself, looking out the window at the dark, empty highway. As if he just remembered there's something beyond his cage of alleyways and gangland showdowns. Here, for future adventures. David is about to turn around and leave when he suddenly stops. He pulls a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, scribbles a number on it. He leaves them on the table next to my hand, but just as I reach it, his hand covers mine, pressing it to the table. What's it, 3535? His skin feels cold, rough from barely visible scars and blister. This grave-like chill sharply contrasts with the warmth of my own hand. I feel a slight tingling, like static electricity. Call me if you need a ride from work. I've got a couple of ideas for what we could be doing before dawn. See ya. Oh. Alright, cool. Thank you, David. Thank you. David says goodbye and leaves. The gas station sinks into absolute silence. That was quite an interesting encounter. I really could have turned him in, but I didn't want to. Do nothing with the drawing because I don't know if we're ever going to keep the drawing. I'll put it aside. Now I also have a date invitation from a guy who wanted to make me his dinner half an hour ago. I survived another visitor. It seems I'm starting to get used to this job. Wiping off the stinky residue, hoping it was just piled soda from the counter, I suddenly hear the crunch of gravel outside. Oops. A satyr? Judging by like those horns, those goat horns. I mean, yes, this is a demon, but I'm thinking about the Greek mythical creature satyr, half human, half goat. This is definitely not a vampire anymore. The stranger leans against the counter, trying to look casual, but the way his tail swishes betrays his nervous tension. Hi. He clears his throat. Okay, hold on. It has been an hour. Oh, I forgot. I do need to save this. Wait, no. Okay. Let me go to the main menu. Yep. Wow. Honestly, the second encounter was actually pretty boring. I mean, he's grumpy, but then like he's scared. God, whatever. This guy David has just bored me in comparison to Dayron. Dayron was fun to interact. Him was all melodrama, yada yada. I don't even care about it. I just wanted him to leave, give me like a nice tip and leave. I'm surprised that my manager hasn't showed up. Maybe he thinks I did a good job. So he didn't bother to show up. Okay. And now we have this new visitor. That's cool. I would definitely need to play another game. I could certainly this boredom I felt when playing. When interacting with David. I guess that's about it. I'm going to record another one for part 3, which meeting up with this gentleman that looks to be a demon. Alright. Thank you for sticking around.